Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. The victims were in airplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. The pictures of airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining. Today, our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. This is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace. None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you, good night, and God bless America.
Good afternoon, Mifflin Middle School Bulldogs. What's going on? I'm the Amazing Tei Street. As is customary, this is the first Friday of the school year, and I'm here. I'm here because this is one of my favorite schools on the planet. I can't imagine being any place else the first Friday of school, of Columbus City Schools, than Mifflin Middle School. Now, for my sixth graders, normally you would be sitting over here in this corner, and I would be addressing you and saying, you don't know me yet, but you will. For my seventh graders who would be sitting over here to my right, I would be addressing you and talking about what we talked about last year. And to my eighth graders, I'd be telling you, who are sitting in the middle, how awesome you already are and how this is going to be the most amazing year because you are now the leaders of Mifflin High School. But since we're not there, I'm still willing to come at you today with some knowledge, just dropping a few little nuggets here and there for you. So I'm the Amazing Tei Street. This is my book. It's titled, I'm the Amazing Tei Street. Wouldn't you like to be amazing too? Now, I know y'all looking at me like, man, she's 5 feet tall. She weighing in at a good pounds. She don't look all that amazing to me. Y'all just don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you real fast with 3 quick things to unlock the amazing in your school year. I know that learning online is not optimal. If we could all do it, we would really like to be packed in here in this auditorium with everybody telling you to be quiet, with the teacher standing in the aisle telling you not to talk during town hall. But since we're not there, it doesn't mean that you can't have a successful school year. The first thing you have to do is you have to unlock your mind. You have to unlock your mind so that you can be open to learning some new things. Now, I know if you're anything like my son, who had to learn virtually for college in the spring, you were saying to yourself, man, this sucks. Yep, you didn't say this stinks, you said this sucks. And it kind of does, but it only sucks if you aren't willing to invest. Because here's what I know, the teachers of Mifflin Middle School are ready for you. They're ready. They are ready to literally teach you everything that you know so that when we come back to school, you'll be on time and on task. Trust me, they got you, but you gotta open up your mind. Now your mind is like it's like a mental bag. If you don't put anything in, when you go to take something out, there's nothing there. You ever walk up to a bank machine, like, you ever see adults, they walk up and they put their little card in, and they put in $25. Because they ain't put no money in the bank, it's like, decline. Then they put in $10, decline. Because here's what happened. They didn't put anything into the bank, so they couldn't get anything out of the bank. Your mind is the same way. If you don't put something in, you don't get anything out. So the first thing you've got to do is unlock your mind and be open to learning in a new way. That's the first thing you got to do. The next lock that you've got to unlock is unlock the part of you that says, I can't. Unlock the I can in your mind. Unlock it, because I got it like that. You are more than capable. How many of you remember when you were in kindergarten? You got there and they started bombarding you with things, because in preschool what you really did was play. But when you got to kindergarten, they actually expected you to learn some things. They were like, you gotta learn your ABCs, you gotta learn your 1, 2, 3s, you gotta learn. And you're sitting there thinking, I'm never gonna learn all this. I gotta learn how to share, I gotta learn how to get along, I gotta learn how to stand in the line, I gotta learn how to ask and raise my hand if I gotta go pee-pee. You had to learn a whole lot in kindergarten. And I knew at that moment, like you were like me, you were thinking, I'm never gonna learn all of this. But sure enough, you learned everything that you needed to learn so that you not only mastered kindergarten, you were more than ready for first grade. And every year you had to learn just a little bit more. Just like you had it in kindergarten, I promise you, you got it in COVID-19 virtual learning world. Just like you had a lot coming at you then, you've got a lot coming at you now, but you are more than capable of accomplishing everything that you put your mind to. But guess what? That only happens when you unlock the I can and close out the I can't. So you gotta lock up I can't and unlock I can. And then finally, you've got to unlock the fear factor. Fear keeps us from doing a whole lot. I like to say that fear is a dream inhibitor and not a dream enhancer. Me, I used to be afraid of everything. I was scared of snakes and spiders. I'm still afraid of snakes. I ain't even go front. Not afraid of spiders anymore. But growing up, my 2 biggest fears were heights and flying. Well, they kind of went together for me. If you fly and you up high. So I was scared. I was the kid who would get on the plane. I cried one time all the way from Columbus, Ohio to Los Angeles, California. A 5-hour drive. I know by the time we got to California, they were ready to toss me out the plane. I'm that kid, I had that low grade cry. I wasn't that screaming, I wasn't that kid. So they had 5 hours. I know they were like, can y'all give her something to knock her out because she is annoying. Because I was deathly afraid of flying. But I had a dream. My dream was to travel this country, to tell young people like you, like my 6th graders, my 7th graders, and my 8th graders at Mifflin Middle School that you matter. That was my big dream. I wanted to literally travel the country, not the world, just the country. Yes, I've been different parts of the world, but my dream was to tell kids in this country that they matter. But the challenge is for me to fulfill that dream, I had to what? Get on airplanes. I had to learn how to get over my fear of flying. So it's called facing your fears. And the best way to face it is to do that which you are afraid of. It's okay to do whatever you're afraid of doing, but do it afraid. It's all right to do it afraid. So when I was in college, I used to love to watch TV and see what kinds of daredevil things people did. As a kid, I was a daredevil. I like to try all kind of crazy stuff. One time I was watching people skydive on TV and I was sitting with my mom and I said, Mom, someday I'm gonna jump out of a plane. My mom was like, black people don't jump out of planes. And I'm like, why? Did we change colors in the air? I just didn't understand why it was a black people thing that we didn't do. So when I got to college, my boyfriend, he decided to go to the Army. But he would come home all the time and he always liked to take me shopping when he came home. I was a college student at The Ohio State University, go Bucks. And I was a poor college student. Okay, I lied. I wasn't a poor college student. I was a PO college student. I couldn't afford to be poor. I just was PO. I didn't have an O and an R because that cost too much money. So when he would come home, he'd be like, baby, let's go shopping. I was like, okay, cool. So one time he came home, he said, baby, let's go to Cincinnati. We'll catch a movie, catch a show, do some shopping, grab your girl and her dude. We'll have a good time and then come back tonight. I was like, all right, cool. We stopped at Springfield to pick up my girl Dawn and her dude. And while we're there, I'm driving. We're going the back roadway from Springfield to Cincinnati. And we had to pass the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And it's called Wright-Patterson because Ohio, not North Carolina, is the birthplace of aviation because the Wright brothers were born in Dayton, Ohio. And so we're passing this big old airstrip, and it's where they do air shows and people go skydiving. I had always wanted to skydive, but I didn't even go front. I was scared. So I was like, no cap. I was petrified, no cap. I was like, yeah. So I'm driving up, I'm talking trash. You know how you do with your people? I was like, baby, someday, this big old sign on the side of the road, it says skydive today. $200 and a 2-hour class, and you can jump today. I look at him like, baby, someday I'm gonna jump out of a plane. This dude, baby, do it today. Shut up. I was like, no, baby, I ain't got $200. He was like, baby, I got $200. I'm like, dude, shut up. My girl in the backseat tripping because she got a job and she know I'm poor, right? She gonna holler, I got $50 if you jump today. You know how people are. They always want to egg you on, but they ain't gonna do the thing that they're egging you on to do. Dude, don't do your work. This is stupid. But they doing their work. How crazy are we to listen to everybody else? I'm thinking $50 to a poor college kid, $50 is like $50,000, right? So I got visions of Pizza Hut and McDonald's as a big girl dancing in my head. I'm like, man, how many Big Macs for $50? Then it hit me, you could die. So I'm like, no, I'm good. So they're laughing and come on, T. Her dude is like, I'll throw in another 100 if you jump to 150. I turn around, y'all go sit through this class. 6 people in the class. I'm number 4. They give you a number. I'm number 4. Dude who's teaching the class name is Paul. I'll never forget Paul. Because Paul's like, check, he's talking and talking and talking. And everybody in the class is talking. I can't talk, y'all, because all I can do is listen to my heartbeat in my ears. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna die. But everybody else in the class is talking. Dude is like, I hang glide, I rock climb, I parasail. Y'all know them dudes. I was like, so what? Shut up. Then this other dude was talking, and then this lady was like, my name's Sarah. I'm 52. My husband left me for a younger woman. My kids are grown and I'm lonely. I'm thinking to myself, Sarah, should you really be jumping out of a plane? But I digress. So we're up there and everybody's talking. I'm not really paying attention because I'm trying to think of how I'm going to get out of this. So I determined, since I'm number 4, if 1, 2, or 3 backed out, I was going to stay up there and keep them company because it was the right thing to do, right? And I'm thinking, I'm going to die. And so I wasn't really listening to Paul. It's kind of like how some of you are operating right now in COVID. Your teachers are giving you instruction, even though it's online, trying to help you be ready. They're trying to help to make sure that you're understanding all of the assignments and everything that's coming at you. But you're not really listening because you're distracted by video games, you're distracted by your parents hollering at you in the background, you're distracted by the fact that somebody cooking bacon and you want to go and eat and you don't really want to be listening to your teacher right now because you're at home. This is when you really have to dig deep and focus. You've got to really center your mind on what's happening on that screen. Because I'm telling you, I wish I had been listening to Paul, but I ain't even go front. I wasn't listening, okay? I wasn't listening. But he said two things that caught my attention. He said, when your parachute opens, they will propel you back up. So Paul tells us we gotta tuck when we land and roll. I'm thinking, oh great, I'll survive the jump and break my neck on the landing trying to tuck and roll. So I'm now panicked about two things, that parachute propelling me up and tucking and rolling. When we get up in the plane, and I'm number 4, the first guy gets up, Paul's giving him last minute instructions at the door, but dude has got this. He's that dude who does everything. He's bouncing like he Muhammad Ali boxing and stuff. He's bouncing at the door. He turns around after Paul gets done, pulls his goggles down, he turns around, that's what he does. We're like, he's gone. Next dude gets up, he's nervous, but he likes girl number 5. He don't want her to know he's scared. So he starts walking to the door like this. I'm like, dude, you gonna suck up all the oxygen. But he's standing at the door. I don't think he's really gonna jump. I think he's too scared, right? Paul's talking to him, he won't pull his goggles down. He's standing there, he starts backing up a little bit. I'm like, don't do it, dude. I'm sending him the vibe. Don't do it. We got your back. We'll stay up here and keep you company. Ain't no shame in your game. Don't do it. He's standing there, Paul's talking to him. He moves up, looks out, he backs up. I'm like, that's right, dude. Keep backing up, keep backing up. But all of a sudden, he pulls his goggles down. I knew he was gonna jump because he did this. I'm like, oh man. Sure enough, he was gone. My only hope was 52-year-old Sarah. Sarah came out. She started walking like this. She was spooked, y'all. And Paul was like, you can do it. Sarah was like, I don't know, Paul. You can do it. I don't know. I'm like, good girl, Sarah. But Paul used reverse psychology. He hit her with, what you got to lose? Your husband left you, your kids are grown? That's cold, Paul. Shade, oh my goodness. But it worked. Sarah was thinking about some things, right? Sarah pulled out her goggles and next thing I know, she was gone. So now it's my turn. Now I, at the time, am a 19-year-old, cool black girl college student with way too much swag to go out like punk, right? So I'm like, I get up there, I start walking to the door, I'm mean-mugging the door, right? Like this. I get to the door and all I can see is air. So I panic. I start shaking like a leaf. Paul didn't even think enough of me to change his line. He was like, you can do it. I'm like, you can shut up. Because I decided if I'm going to die today, I'm going to do it because I want to, not because Paul's telling me to. Because what? I make my own decisions. And all of a sudden, I'm standing there at the door, and this is where the Amazing Tei Street comes from. It comes from being a voice in my own head telling me that I'm amazing. I don't need people on the outside cheering me on because the inside of me is always telling me that I'm amazing. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the voice came in my head, and it was screaming, and it was like, I'm the Amazing Tei Street. I'm looking around like, y'all ain't hear that? It's screaming, I'm the Amazing Tei Street. So I decided to go with it, y'all. Like, I'm the Amazing Tei Street. Paul like, she crazy. He started backing up. I started talking to myself. I'm rapping right at the edge of the door. I'm like, I'm the Amazing Tei Street. I can accomplish that and find things because I'm the Amazing Tei. Woo! And I'm out there. And y'all have some choices to make. This year, you all have choices to make. Will you stay engaged until it's time to come back hybrid? Or will you check out? Will you check out and say, I'm not doing this, I don't want to learn, I don't care that Mifflin is the #2 school in the district, I'm not going to contribute to making it #1. What will you do? You have tough decisions to make. And guess what? As much as your parents want it and as much as your teachers want it, no one can want a good education for you but you. You have to want it as much as anybody else, if not more. So I'm standing there and I've got tough decisions to make. Like, do I panic, hyperventilate, fall to my death? I'm like, no, baby. So I made the decision, I'm up here anyway. Might as well do some things I couldn't do as a voluptuous girl on the ground. Voluptuous, big word for big girl, right? I decided to do a cartwheel. I'm like, yeah, oh, sucky now. Backflip. I'm like, that's what's up. Man, I was having a ball. Then I remembered, oh my God, I'm getting closer to the ground. I see these things that look like ants. I'm still way up, but I see these things that look like ants. I later learned that they were people telling me to pull my cord. This is when I wish I had really been focused. There's gonna come a time when that test comes that you're gonna wish you had been listening to your teacher. When the test rolls out. I wish I had really been listening to Paul, because when I pulled that ripcord, y'all, that thing jerked me so hard and so fast, it was like, whew. To this day, I still believe I saw my heart come up and out my mouth. I had to catch my breath, I'm like, and I'm like, whoo, whoo. And just as I'm getting my composure, it's time to what? Tuck and roll. Guess what? I decided I probably couldn't survive a broken neck, but I could survive a broken leg. Young people, it's okay to think outside the box. It's okay to do schoolwork your way. It's okay to figure out a schedule that works well for you. It's okay to figure out if sitting on a pillow or leaning in helps you learn better, or hearing it several times from your teacher helps you learn better. It's okay for you to do education your way. Think outside the box. I made up my own living. I came to the earth. Yes, I look crazy, but I did not care because I came to the earth looking like this. I was just happy. I was happy to be back on the ground. Now I'm bouncing like dude. I'm like, yeah, I'm the Amazing Tei Street. I'm the Amazing Tei Street. I'm the Amazing Tei Street. My friends come over. The instructor on the ground is taking off my harness. My friends come over. First thing I ask them, where my money? They putting the money in my hands, y'all. They're laughing. I'm like, so what? I don't care if I look crazy. I just jumped out of the plane. Y'all still on the ground because I'm the Amazing Tei Street. I'm the Amazing Tei Street. I'm talking trash, y'all, but I got my money. But my boo and my friends are like this, laughing, tears streaming out. I'm like, what? So what? Y'all look down. I face my fears. Today I get to travel all across this country, telling young people like you that they matter. That would have been impossible if I hadn't faced my fears of heights and flying. Face your fears. I faced my fears that day, but I figured out why they were laughing. I looked down and I was soaking wet. I realized that I faced my fears, but that day I did it in wet pants. Because guess what, Mifflin? When the parachute went up, the PP came down. I'm closing, but I want to remind you, unlock your mind, unlock the I can, and unlock the adventure in you and face your fears. And you will have an amazing school year. I'm the Amazing Tei Street, but I can assure you, there's absolutely, positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every young person of Mifflin Middle School. I charge and challenge you to have an amazing school year. Thank you so much, Mifflin.